You're listening to the Fight 1-4 podcast with your hosts, Max Karabine and Alex Piconia.
What's up, people? You are indeed watching the Fight 1-4 podcast. I am Maxime Karabine, and obviously I have my co-host here, the one and only Alex Piconia. What's up, G?
How you doing, brother? You good?
Pretty good. I'm excited to have you here. It's my workplace, and now I got the chance to rent the podcast and do it with you, my man.
Oh, dude, this is honestly it's an amazing place. It looks beautiful. I'm so excited. I was just blown away walking in here. You know
It's pretty cool. Shout out to Studio SF in Saint-Henri letting us do our thing here. Fight 1-4 podcast, first time in
studio, in person, brother. Crazy.
Yeah, no, I'm excited to have you here, my man. And what a video we have today. It's the award show. It's the best of 2024.
Yeah. That's great. I'm excited for this, man. It's been a wild year for amateur kickboxing in Montreal. You know what I mean? There's so many organizations that did top notch this year. So many great fights, great moments, legends that were written this year. You know what I mean? About a lot of fighters, about a lot of fights. So I'm excited to get into it today.
2024 has been an amazing year for Quebec kickboxing. We saw the beginnings of Empire Fight League, of Ballistic Limbs. And obviously Silver Tooth and FTC continue to do their thing.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about it today. 9 awards we have. Let's say it quickly. Start with Rookie of the Year. And then we have the Outsider of the Year, Promotion of the Year, Event of the Year, Performance of the Year, KO of the Year, Fight of the Year, and Fighter of the Year. Before we start and get into the awards, Alek, what was your, if I tell you right now, what was your best moment in 2024? What's the one that comes to your head?
Honestly, the most recent one was obviously the knockout by Mayana, which I don't want to just harp on that knockout, right? But
I think it's going to be recurrent today.
Yeah, it was. The thing is, it was just so shocking. You know what I mean? Like in the best way possible, fight-wise, entertainment-wise, for the fans, of course. Not so much for his opponent, but that is the fight game. You win some, you lose some.
Yeah.
And but apart from that,
it's obviously a big one.
There's so many big moments, especially just even certain events, like fighting, doing the ring announcing outside. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Starting when the sun was out. It was kind of cloudy that day, but
I remember we were so scared that it was gonna rain.
Yeah, I remember.
Looking at the sky every minute.
It was
but now it has moved there. And
yeah. Man, that was one of the shining moments too. There's just certain moments like that, but I've watched a lot of fights this year, you know, as you have as well, right?
That was
you even more than me, so.
Probably, yeah. Right. But still, you still watch them. Even if I don't work them, I watch them. Same for you.
Exactly.
Or
right?
at least even if I don't go to an event and I don't have, let's say, access to the pay-per-viewers, I'll always look at the stories on Instagram and
we keep up.
The next day I'm like, oh, yo, who won this fight? And so we're all and I want to give a shout out to the promotions in Quebec too, in Quebec City.
Okay.
They're pretty good, man. Fighter,
you just did Fighter, right?
Yeah, exactly. Fighter is pretty legit. We're Montreal guys, so we're gonna talk about the Montreal scene. But maybe next year, if Fighter continues on their path, they're gonna be on our show next year.
Really? Well, you know what? I'd love to attend an event next year as well. I'd like to be a little bit more present in the events that I'm not always working, Sometimes it's hard being a father, raising a family and stuff like that, especially when you got a lot going on, or even it's no mystery to you, but like I said, we're in the midst of moving and all that stuff, so a lot's going on. So, but next year is going to be fun.
Yeah, try to attend at least one FTC.
Oh, that's a game plan.
Yeah.
I would love to.
Yeah,
I would love to.
Because
super cool.
They're doing a good show.
Insane.
What happened this year? If we were gonna do a little recap, in February we had Fight Night champions. I gave a shout out to Fighter in Quebec City, but Fight Night champions, they're in Sherbrooke.
Okay.
So they do good stuff over there. Then Feb 4 we had FTC 3 in Laval. And Feb 24th, we had Ballistic Limbs, the very first Ballistic Limbs that you were there, if
yes,
I'm not mistaken,
I was a part of.
In Anjou. Then March 9, we had Silver Tooth Promotions. March 24, Empire Fight League, number 1 in Saint-Léonard at Le Riz.
Yeah, that was awesome.
April, nothing. We had a little month off in April. And then May, we had, and that was quite the weekend. May 18, FTC 4. May 19, Silvertooth Promotions. So
Yeah.
back-to-back shows in May, which is something we addressed with Justin when we had Justin on the podcast, and we're like, let's not do that anymore. Like, let's leave at least for fighters and for us and for WKFQ.
It must be also like a bit of a tear for the fighters too. You know what I mean?
Of course,
like,
man.
Because all the promotions are doing a bang up job.
Yeah.
All of them are. They're different. They have their own like rhythm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's hard to not want to fight on this card and on that card. You know? So.
Yeah, and you want to fight with your teammates, and even for gym owners, it's better if you don't have like back-to-back shows because they have lives too. Like if I think about Jacques, who's a coach at Tai Long, it's tough for him to go back-to-back on the weekend. He has kids and stuff. Like let's have one shows every weekend, please.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Like at least.
The time with the kids is important.
Because I remember WKFQ, they had to, and that happened twice, even not 3 times this year, that even the WKFQ, the federation that sanctions fight, and thanks to Dave Morin who gave us their private document about all the fights that happened this year.
I don't know what he's talking about.
No.
Dave. No, I don't know. I don't know about no list.
I'm just telling you right now, like you've never heard of that list,
Yes,
obviously.
Of course,
but thanks, Dave. But yeah, like 3 times I think WKFQ had back-to-back shows, and sometimes it's like Friday in Sherbrooke and Saturday in Montreal.
It's a lot, man. It's a lot of moving around.
So yeah, even for those guys, that'd be better if like we have a little week or 2 between shows at least.
Well, you know what's good about the WKFQ is they're always training new officials as well, right? They're a growing organization, so.
I'll actually be a part of next show at Angry Monkey. January 11, I believe.
Really?
Yeah, and Dave Morin's gonna have me, and like I'm gonna like get a little behind the scene with the WKFQ.
That's cool. That's really cool. Are you gonna start like getting in the ring, like refereeing?
Probably.
Like
I think he told me I would ref once and judge a couple fights too.
Oh yeah.
But that's gonna be so like good for my commentary.
Oh
and
yeah,
like,
of course, man. Because now you're breaking it down like on the official side as well.
Yeah.
You're doing it by like the referee side. You're seeing it like not just. Well, you're already breaking it down pretty like analytical, you know what I mean? But now you're going to be like inside the ring as well. You're going to probably catch stuff right? Because
probably.
Bro,
I'm already nervous, and I know Dave's going to give me like probably like a kid's fight, some 12, 13 years old.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be in there like in between grown ass men punching each other.
Get bopped.
But even the kids, like they go fast, and it's going to be something else.
Well, at Silvertooth Gym, just a couple of weeks after the big Silvertooth show at the Olympia, they had the Silvertooth like Christmas party kind of kids fights and stuff like that, kids exhibition, kids smokers, and they throw down, man. They throw down. They're aggressive. They're angry. I'm like, I love this.
Yeah,
I love this. You know what I mean? They had kids from like 7 years old up until I think about 14, 15, you know what I mean? But the majority of the kids were under 10 years old, 10 years old, you know, in that age group. So it was really, it was cute, but it was also really cool.
Oh man,
you know what I mean?
Kids, they throw, man. It goes down. It's like they fight when they're in there.
Dude, it's awesome.
And remember when like you probably fought once or twice when you were a kid in the backyard of the school, and like those fights you remember, hockey. Those fights you remember them like it was like World War III, like so I cannot imagine how those like 8-9 years old fighting at Silvertooth or Angry Monkey, how they feel about the
well,
fights.
dude, on it, like they actually have the proper equipment. When I was a kid, there was this game that a lot of us used to play in the dressing room. If you had beef with somebody, or if you were in somebody's basement or whatever, we played this game. It was called Casse-Gant.
Yeah, of course. No, I played that once.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So it was the hockey helmet and the hockey gloves, and then you just
rock 'em, sock 'em.
As there's no tactic, there's no nothing. You're just kids brawling, right?
Yeah.
And I've seen guys get their heads knocked off.
Oh,
you know, and with that. That's most of the kids' introductions to like combat sports.
Yeah,
is that like
back in the 90s.
Yeah, back in the 90s, right? 91.
But yeah, no, obviously the kids fighting today in the rings, like they have referees and stuff. We don't.
Yeah,
have
at least they're doing it right.
Yeah, it's controlled and controlled violence in a safe environment.
Exactly. They can all go home and speak normally. They don't like speak like us or like half CTE from just from just living.
Like I said, I played Casse-Gant once. pretty sure I got like 5 concussions.
Yeah, you know what I mean?
So no, you don't play. I hope people don't play Casga anymore.
No, somewhere in somebody's basement.
Yeah.
You know, there's a fight
It's
club going
still-
on.
Yeah,
you know?
of course. At this very moment.
Yeah.
Because it used to happen during the holidays too. Like you,
Oh my God,
you don't
yeah.
have school.
So someone's gonna scrap. You know what I mean?
All right, June 8th, once again in Sherbrooke, Fight Night Champions. June 30th, Silvertooth Promotions, Oka Bash. June
cool.
30th. That was such a crazy weekend too.
Super cool, man.
My girlfriend has a chalet. How do you say a chalet? Déjà, cottage?
Cottage, cabin, chalet,
yeah.
chalet. We say chalet though
Yeah,
as well.
in the north, in La Tuque, which is
Okay.
like maybe 30 minutes drive from Oka.
yeah.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it's called. And so we went there for like the weekend. So go there Friday. Fights were Saturday night.
Yeah.
So we arrive Friday during the day. We go to the lake. We do like cabin stuff, like chalet stuff, you know.
I love it.
Saturday, same thing during the day, and then we leave for the fights in Oka. We come back, we sleep in the cabin until Sunday. Sunday we come back to Montreal. So
Amazing. So
this-
you actually got to extend your weekend
that
and
was-
made it like part of a.
and in
that's
the
fucking
middle,
cool,
we
man.
went to Oka Bash, Silvertooth Promotion,
Amazing.
and such like a cool night. Like you said, it's outside. First time we attended fights outside.
So cool, man. So cool. I have a bunch of buddies that have started to come to the shows like really this year, and they come to the Silvertooth shows because they love the fact that they can grab a table. They and feel like always like he's so nice to everybody. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, at this table, you know, and he just will like move the table over for people. Like he's really accommodating.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And they love that they could just sit there at a table, order their drinks, watch the fights, order their food at the table. Like they love that comfort. You know what I mean? But they've been coming, I think, since not the Oka one, but the one prior to that. Since that show, they've been coming to almost. I think they came to an Empire. They came to the first Empire show, and then they've been coming to like all this every Silvertooth show they've come to, and they came to the second Empire show as well. But they've been.
We need more people like your friends.
Yeah,
Alek.
I
But
know.
there's actually a good crowd like building up. Like we said,
Crazy.
The scene itself, like the promotions and the fighters are better and better. But even the crowd, like more people gets behind it. Shout out to Barbu Kickboxing, who always brings like Villeray, full of Villeray people.
Bro, and they're loud, bro. At first, you're just like, what the fuck? And then, like, you're just like, you're there and you're like, boo, but you're working, so you're kind of like, boo. Yeah. You know?
Yeah, I love seeing those crowds, like people in their 20s, like coming to fights and enjoying the fights. And
It's great, man. It's great. Dude, when I was these fighters' age, you know, like I said before, and like on the first podcast, I was in a band. I was out here doing bad shit. You know what I mean? Like I wasn't doing anything good for myself or society. And like this, like we're building like, you know, at the end of the day, you're promoting health. You're promoting health.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? These are I've explained to my kid a long time ago. These are top level athletes. These are athletes. You know what I mean? These men and women are busting their ass, covered in sweat, covered in other people's sweat, chiseled, jacked, like all strength, all with cardio to go. You know what I mean? Like, so it's a good promotion. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
100%.
It's a good thing that's happening. You know what I mean? The scene that's building.
And the shows are great too, man.
Right?
2 weeks after that, so Oka, June 30th, amazing night, Silvertooth Promotion. 2 weeks later, FTC 5 in Montreal Nord, which is the way to do it. 2 weeks, like you have a couple shows here and there. 2 weeks, it's perfect.
Let everybody fight.
Because you let the buzz go down a little bit from Oka, and like you still talk about the fight the week later, and then you're like, oh shit, FTC 5 is coming in Montreal Nord. Crazy event that went down at Cégep Marie-Victorin, which was that's where I went to Cégep, at Marie-Victorin.
Really?
Yeah, and
That's
it's
crazy.
I don't know if you know where that is. It's up north. It's like between Montreal Nord and Rivière-des-Prairies.
Okay.
So it's in the middle of nowhere, literally.
So anybody who's around there is just gonna show up anyways to an event, eh?
That, and like it's such like a famous Cégep, because it's like if you go there like almost like and I don't want to compare Marie-Victorin to Harry Potter, but you know the castle in Harry Potter, it's you go far and you go like there for school.
Yeah.
Like it's not like you go at Cégep du Vieux-Montréal and like there's like down. I went there for one session. It's like you can't.
Yeah, when you're at Hogwarts, you're at Hogwarts, dog. That's what it is.
It's up there in the north, and it's like there's just a vibe there at Cégep Marie-Victorin. And I was so happy to go back there because I studied there for 5 years. 10 years ago. So that was cool. Theater is nice. FTC always puts on banger. Anis de Hiles versus Neil Tweezy was the main event. So.
That was the one. That was the one where Rob was actually supposed to fight.
No.
Everybody heard his name.
Anis fought Charlie Penwick when he was supposed to fight.
Okay.
Rabshan.
Okay.
Yeah. So that was not the one. Anis versus Neil was like it has a build.
That one was the.
It has a huge build up around it. August, no shows. No shows in August.
No, we had a break.
But I would kind of like to have a show in August too, like maybe once a month during the. But there's always a break during the summer though.
Yeah, everybody gets a little bit. I think Phil had a little smoker. Sometime. I think at some time during the summer, either before or after. I think maybe at the end of August.
There's always smokers going on.
Yeah, no, it was early September. Like right, it was there. August was completely off.
Yeah, and which is like I said, I would have loved to have a show in August, but at the same time, it's a little break.
Yeah.
September 28, which is it's a huge from July 14 to September 28. So the summer break for kickboxing in Montreal is like a month and a half, which is quite big.
It was actually kind of. It was good though. It was a nice break.
Coaches and WKFQ they can go like on vacation and stuff. Us we can go and we don't miss shows.
Yeah, well I got married. So there you go.
Pretty legit. But September 28th we have Silvertooth promotion at Le Bain Mathieu.
Yeah.
And that was like the finale before the big finale.
Yeah.
That was a good show.
The last leg of the road,
Yeah, September 28th was a great show. I think it was the 4-man tournament.
Yes, it was.
Like Carpel, Morin.
Yeah, see? That's why, like, the top moments of this year, it's so many.
Yeah. No, that was a great card.
Yeah.
October 5th, FTC 6 in Montréal, salle Ludger Duvernay Tardif, something like that.
Okay.
Ludger Duvernay, I think. And it's on Saint Laurent between René Lévesque and Sainte Catherine. So downtown, huge theater, FTC. That's when Matson Leon fought Omar Karaki for the third time. That was a great show.
That one, I don't know who's, I think it was a podcast channel. I'm not sure exactly who was streaming it live, but I was there on my phone like the whole time, Yeah, exactly. Just,
Yeah. October 25th, we had Empire Fight League 2. Downtown Montreal as well at the Evo Hotel. Yes. Nice venue.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Big show.
Place Ville-Marie.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like this. Anyways, crazy. Thank God they handed no parking though, man. It's crazy around there. I opened the block like 6 times and someone's like, oh, it's on the corner, but you have to like sneak in.
Yeah.
I had my wife, she's like, I can't find the parking. I'm like, I'm sorry. Stop yelling. So no, it's super cool venue.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Like a real gala. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Very sparkly.
First time we had the Empire Fight League belts on the line too. We had 3 of them, if I'm not mistaken. We had crazy fights, like the brawl between the guy that trains at Angry Monkey, the heavyweights, like
Wally and Charles Chagnon.
Chagnon, something like that.
Or something. Yeah, that was
from Drummondville, I think.
Yeah,
from Team Légion.
Yeah. Big man.
We're not going to talk
big boys.
a lot about this fight in particular.
André Le Chagnon.
Yeah,
there we go.
Bro, if you know, you know.
November
9, we have Lumberjack Promotions in New Brunswick. So shout out to Lumberjack Promotions. I know WKFQ went all the way to
there,
New Brunswick to sanction the show. And then November 30 at l'Olympia, Silvertooth Promotions.
Insane. Yeah, that was insane. Just walking into that venue was amazing, man. I love it. I love that type of like that old wooden architecture. Everything is looks like it's hand sculpted. At least it looks. But
the Egyptian were there.
Yeah,
hundreds years ago. but yeah, we've talked about this venue so much on the podcast. Like we love l'Olympia.
Yeah.
And it's the way that Silvertooth does it, like they build their smaller shows during the year and they ended up at l'Olympia to make it such like...
It was always like the road to
road to l'Olympia.
All the legs of it was really cool. A lot of competitors from, like say, if they win at this tournament, they guarantee their spot at the Olympia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you had a lot of those, I think, at every single event. Excuse me. That like, it was like... if they won this match, you know what I mean? Because based on, I guess, who they're fighting, they would get their spot at the Olympia, you know what I mean? Which is really, really cool. So
yeah, and we'll get back to the promotions in a while. It's time, people. F14, Fight 14 Awards, Best of 2024 Kickboxing, Montreal. Let's do this, dog. First award, Rookie of the Year. Which, like I told you, Rookie of the Year, it's tough because they always like fought once or twice last year, so they're not technically rookie, but it's like guys like that arrived on the scene in 2024. Number 3, I want to give a shout out to Andrew Spimparé. He fought twice on FTC, so you might know a lot about Andrew Spimparé. But if you know, you know. Andrew's lost his first sanctioned bout. Came back. I think he's like on a 2 or 3 win streak. Already a Class B. So Andrew Spimparé did good stuff on the scene in 2024. Number 2, I have Reda Shise.
yeah,
Who you saw fight at Silvertooth Promotion, but also a FTC guy.
Yeah.
Reda Shise. Amazing year he had. I think he went 3 or 4-0
I
this
think
year.
he had a TKO this year. No,
Yeah.
earlier on this year at FTC.
Yeah, he fought probably. I know he fought Roman Saint-Pierre at FTC.
Okay.
But like he just like the fight he had at l'Olympia, he hurt the guy very early. But guys are tough, man, so they're able like to stay in there with him.
Yeah.
But first round, Reda Shise, maniac. Number 1, Brian Youngo. Obviously,
Yeah,
from the gym, not Crew Kickboxing. What's the name of his gym? Track Fit.
Yeah.
Track Fit Boxing. Brian Youngo won a belt this year. We saw him first at the Oka Beach.
Yes, and actually, shout out to Brian. He came up to me at the Olympia, and he was just like, "Man, I'm so sorry, I'm not fighting." Like he was like apologizing. He was so upset because he got an injury. He's like, "I just couldn't do it. I couldn't make up the time to like to fight at the Olympia because he got replaced with Muiz, and then then Muiz got injured as well.
Yeah.
So the fight ended up never happening.
Yeah.
But Brian Youngo, he came up and he's just like, man, I just want to like. He said he watches the podcast, so shout out to Brian. Man, a lot of my friends who come, they off the bat they made like they followed him on Instagram.
Yeah.
They're just like, dude, he's awesome, you know, and they loved him.
Well, the way he fought Benito in Oka, if I'm not mistaken, he beat the
Animal,
shit.
yeah,
He beat
animal.
the shit up of Benito, and Benito is a tough guy. He's gonna stay in there, and he finished
that was
Benito.
that was his first L, right? And
Yeah.
it's shock. I think it was a shocker to a lot of people how like because Benito does fairly well. You know what I mean?
Of course,
he's
man.
a great.
Benito
and
is a
he's
G.
His fucking legs like
Yeah.
his legs like a horse. You know what I mean?
Yeah, him and Drexler. I think?
Yeah, Gabriel Drexler, bro. They count like this. You know, their horse legs are like this, man. It's so fucking big. So big, these guys. But yeah, sorry. So getting back to Brian Youngo.
Brian Youngo, man, my 2024 brand new fighter of the year, rookie of the year ish. Like we didn't know who Brian Youngo was last year, and this year we're like, okay, this guy's a maniac.
Exactly.
Already a champion at FTC, so. Brian Youngo is my rookie of the year. What about you, Big Dog?
I think I agree with that one. For me, it's definitely Brian Youngo. He gave me he got the most attention this year from like anybody. You know what I mean?
Complete unknown to like one of the top guys.
Oh yeah, and just a real class act. The way he came up to me the other day, he's like, you know, I really like what you're doing. Like he was complimentary. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm not watching all of them, but I'm watching. You know, that's what he said. It was really nice. It was a really nice guy.
Yeah, hopefully he's watching this one though.
Yeah.
So yeah, shout out to Brian Youngo and Track Fit Boxing, rookie of the year, outsider of the year. So we know promotions here are quite good, fighters are quite good. So sometimes we need to pick some fighters from other provinces and stuff. So there's a lot of good guys that comes from out west, from Ontario.
A lot. I put I don't know if you remember from Empire Fight League, Malmer Burkic.
Bro, Big Dog. I just thought about him today. I'm like, he's gonna get in my outsider fighter.
I had to put him. Just what a
He's
powerful
your
fight.
guy?
He's one of my guys.
Yeah, of course.
I took a couple of options there. Right. There's also because I was also looking at who's active outside of Montreal as well. So there's Siam Amadi. He fought Rabishan earlier this year.
Yes.
At Empire Fight League.
Yeah.
And he's been doing bits. I think he did the Canadian Muay Thai Open. He didn't get the belt, but he's been extremely active. Him and his girlfriend went to Thailand just recently, and I think he's just got back now in time for the new year.
Yeah, he actually fought and won against Rabichan at EFL 1 for the very first. I believe there was a belt on or just a huge ass trophy.
I think
like,
it was for the stupid trophy.
Yeah.
It was a stupid tall trophy. Even my wife was like, I'm like, I know, it's 6 foot tall. It's crazy.
But good call, bro. This guy is a killer.
And another one of my picks was of course Dan Zhao.
He's always gonna be in there.
He's just
outsider of the year,
right? Yeah. Especially after the big. The performance at the Olympia, you know what I mean? Really crazy.
Amazing.
Really crazy.
Yeah, no, he's such a good fighter. And from West Side Muay Thai, I followed him on Instagram, and they're training at the very moment we're speaking. Like, they don't, like, holiday breaks doesn't exist for these guys. Yeah. Dan Zhao is in the gym at West Side Muay Thai all day long. I have Moïse Lisala. Obviously, with the walk coming at Empire Fight League. Moïse is fighting out of Ottawa. He really has this big aura around him and stuff. So Moïse is definitely an outsider of the year. I have Béchar Farhan, a little guy who won the belt at FTC.
Okay. I'm not too familiar with him.
Yeah. Alek and Wright, who did the KO of the year at FTC.
Okay.
The head kick, I don't know if you saw the highlights.
I would have to double check,
Crazy.
Because I watch a lot of the highlights.
Yeah.
Right? So
you've seen that kick from Alek and Wright, and I'm going to talk about this a little more later. But yeah, I had Mamer Burkic too. This guy is nuts. Same thing, he came to us and he's like, I want to be on the podcast. Next time you're in Montreal, we'll try to do that, my man.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mamer Burkic is definitely an outsider of the year. Won the belt against Max Libai.
Animal.
Finished Max Libai.
Dude, he's just so powerful. And like, you know when you watch... Bro, I've been watching this anime called Hajime no Ippo. It's a Japanese anime about boxing, right?
Yeah.
And they make the sounds just pa 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 pa. They make them sound so good. You know what I mean? And it like those like thundering shots. Like Mamer was like producing them in the ring. You know, so he finished his opponent. Guy quit, right? So
we agree. Mamer Burkic is Fight 1-4 outsider of the year.
Yeah, okay,
let's give it to the man.
Yeah, let's give it to him. Yes, sir, Mamer.
Gym of the year, lots of good gyms, obviously. Track fit boxing that I just stuck. Reda Shise and Brian Longo, they're both fighting out of there, and they're both my rookie of the year's candidates. So of course, track fit boxing.
Yeah,
I have Tristan Repentigny with Anis Deiles.
Of course, yeah, of course.
On the same line as I have Apex, because I think they're my number 3. Because I think they're both similar in the fact that Tristan Repentigny has Anis Deiles, Apex has Mehana, which are like both cream of the crop top guys.
Yes.
But besides that, they're not super deep. Like they don't have like others A-class fighters. They have Greg Bélan from Apex, but he doesn't really quite fight often.
No.
I know he did the chess boxing tournament in Europe this year.
Yes,
I think I saw that. So this guy is fighting.
Actually, I just saw him training with the Killer Gorilla from the UFC.
Jared Cannonier?
Cannonier. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I saw him training with him the other day. I was like, what?
But yeah, Tristan Repentigny with Anis Deiles and Coach Yves Jabouin and the Apex doing such a good job. Number 2, I have Track Fit, like I said, with Yongo and Reda Shise. My number 1 gym of the year, Crew Gym in Chambly.
Well, at least we agree on something. I had the same exact thing just because, number 1, their team energy is great. They have a lot of good guys. Jordan Goulet came out of there. Obviously, Mats and Leon, which we'll get into later. You know what I mean? And Charles.
They have a couple girls fighting too. Roxanne fought at Silver Tooth. Once, and they have like 2 girls fighting for FTC too. So
good, amazing.
They have a deep roster back there.
Yeah, they're putting themselves out because at first it was just Matson, and then Jordan came along.
Yeah,
and it's a slow but steady. Like, you know, in incline.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had them down as Gym of the Year as well, just because of everything that Matson has accomplished this year, and like I don't know, just their coaching, the coaches. Shout out to their coaches, Marcus, and they're just great, man.
Of course,
very good energy. You know what I mean? So
I need to find the name of the girl. I think it's Myriam Vorono, but I'm not Not 100% sure. She's fighting out of Crew Boxing.
Okay.
She's pretty good. But yeah, Roxanne, like I said, is fighting out of there.
Oh, I also had I just, and this is just because we talked about this before, just their energy and the attention that they're bringing to the sport is Bamboo Kickboxing.
Yeah, of course.
I had them down on my list too, just because like, you know, you can't like unfortunately Nicolas Leboeuf got the Spider Boy. He got injured after his last fight. He was unable to compete for the rest of the year. But like, it's not a real kickboxing event in Montreal unless you hear bang, boo, bang, boo. You know what I mean? So I put them in my list as well.
Of course, man. Silvertooth Gym is quite nice. Produces nice fighters too. Very nice.
Beautiful.
It's low key a very good gym. Silvertooth promotion.
And they keep it low key as well, because even at their own promotions they go under the Thai name of
Silvertooth.
Yeah, instead of like, you know, Silvertooth Gym fighting out of Silvertooth. Yeah, fighting at Silver. You know, they just kind of like, we're not, you know.
Yeah.
So
it's not the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, Silvertooth Gym, Sidao Sawan is up there. And lots of good gyms too, obviously. Amazing, but there can only be one gym of the year, and it's Crew Boxing.
Yes, it's Crew. Yeah.
Promotion of the year. So, like we said, we have lots of promotions. 2 saw the day in 2024: Empire Fight League and Ballistic Limbs.
Yeah.
You work for both. Mm-hmm. So many good promotions, always putting on great events, great shows. Number 3, I have Empire Fight League, 2 amazing shows, and Justin really brought like the another layer to the game with like the equipment and like all the tank tops and the shorts, EFL like colors and like the big ass trophies, and like EFL they only did 2 shows this year, but both were amazing.
Yeah,
shows.
he did. You know what he brought a little bit? He brought that showmanship to it a little bit. You know what I mean? He brought that like, not for this comparison, but like you know, like that wrestling factor to it. You know, a little bit of the.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and all the fighters, I believe they got to keep their gear.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was all a gift. So.
Yeah.
And it's really a cool way to promote the amateur fighters. You know what I mean? The better that these shows get, the more that people are going to want to be a part of them, right? And I had also Empire down in my list as well for these reasons, you know, because like there is the scene that was, and then there is the scene that is becoming, you know what I mean? And that scene is they fit right into it perfectly. Yeah. You know what I mean?
100%. Justin knows what he's doing, and I'm looking forward for EFL 3 in 2025. Number 2, I have FTC, Fight Time Championship. 4 shows this year, I believe. 3 or 4 shows. Great fighters, lots of belts.
Yeah.
As much as, and that's the thing with Quebec's promotion, Montreal promotions, they all have their little something special. Like you just talked about, like the uniform at Empire Fight League. FTC is the social media. Like they know what they're doing.
They're killing it. They're absolutely geniuses with
the look of everything online at
even
FTC.
I know through FTC they were working with middlemen. I believe like the clothing brand, making their fighters look professional, beautiful. You know what I mean?
Yeah, FTC, they're up there. They're up there for sure. FTC 6 we had this year. So looking forward. FTC 7, probably the first shows we're going to have this year. It's FTC 7 in Quebec City.
Yeah, that's
Nick Leboeuf on that card.
Very, very cool. And honestly, great. It's a great way to like branch out. You know what I mean? Don't just keep it completely local. But now they're talking about provincial. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not just saying Montreal. Now they're going to like Fight 450 or whatever, you know. Start a second podcast. You know what I mean?
Doesn't sound as good though.
No, it doesn't.
But my number 1 promotion of the year in 2024 is Silvertooth Promotions.
It's hilarious. You can even look at my promotion of the year list. Yeah. Exact same order. You know what I mean? That's absolutely hilarious. So we see eye to eye on all of these things. Silvertooth is just, they've been around for so long. Phil's just, his matchups are always insane. And you know, last year, the Olympia show was the biggest K1 kickboxing event in the history of Quebec, right? He did the same thing again this year. Yeah. And then also with the outside fight thing, the outside fight event that he had was, I believe, the first kickboxing outside fight event. I don't know if there was a boxing fight event outside. I don't know that.
One of the first for sure.
You know what I mean? One of the first outside combat shows that we've had. You know what I mean? Whether it be boxing, MMA, or kickboxing, anything really, or jiu-jitsu or whatever, right?
Obviously, shows at Le Bain Mathieu are always great. Like Silvertooth, they're the OGs. They've been doing it for the longer time.
Exactly.
They like it's always amazing. Like you say, your friends they come to the shows and they have like big tables and stuff. It's like
they love
you
it,
enjoy.
man.
Like again, they all have their things. Empire Fight League, it's the prestige, the uniforms.
Beautiful.
FTC, it's like the social media and like
it's a buzz,
the vibe, the hype.
It's like you know what FTC and I really got to commemorate them. They it's like it's a movement. You know what I mean? They got everybody on board. You know what I mean? And they have the fighters engaged.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? There's a lot. It's not like random grabs. It's very like, it's calculated. You know what I mean? It's calculated like this guy versus this guy versus this guy's fought this guy before, then they're going to fight again on this card. And, and we're going to boost it and use it as, you know what I mean? A boost. So, yeah. So
that's Silvertooth, man, it's well oiled.
It's just like, it's a machine.
Like,
bro.
yeah, exactly. Like, obviously, and Le Bain Mathieu, it doesn't get old. Like, shows are always
they're
crazy,
so cool, man. And the thing is, it's very anime. You know what I mean? It's very grungy with the way that everyone's up and looking down into the ring.
The
and
pit.
It's so cool. Yeah, that pit you see. It's very like like old school gladiator.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think I've
100%.
discussed this already. I've said this already. Like old school gladiator looks. You know what I mean? Not all the coliseums were gigantic. They had smaller coliseums that were. You know, but they're still pits. They're fighting in the pits, right?
The crowd, they love it being there, like just because of that, like the way they can look at fights.
And the thing is, it still looks beautiful. It's not like it's grungy in the sense where it looks dingy or bad or dirty or whatever. Like it's a beautiful establishment. Everything is cleaned up nice. You know what I mean? The ring, the lighting, like the show itself is put on amazingly. You know what I mean?
Free on YouTube too, man. Which
is crazy, and it gets a good amount of views as well.
Bro,
like,
that's why Silvertooth Promotions is up there. They give a good show, but they
give it to you,
and they build it like. Other promotions should look at that and say, okay, maybe we don't do like all pay-per-view once or twice, but sometimes maybe we can get it free on YouTube so the people can
see
lots of people can watch.
Because they don't know, man. They don't know. Like a lot of the people, even my mother-in-law, she's like, oh, I see sometime. She's a cute little, like, we discussed this before. My mother-in-law is an old Armenian lady from Syria, you know. She came here. She speaks like 5 languages, but she has like a nice... cute little accent when she speaks English, you know. And she was saying, she's like, you see the videos and it's like, whoa, you don't know that this is going on in Montreal. You don't know that this is going on here. And then she came to the actual Olympia show. I brought her to that event for her first event, and she was like whoa, you know what I mean? And then seeing the fights live, like she's like, it's like you got to warm up of seeing it. Like you kind of like you get curious. It piques their curiosity. She was always curious to come, but she's like old people, like I don't want to intrude. They think they're embarrassing their kids. You know what I mean, type of thing. But it's an experience. At least people get to see what's going on. You know what I mean? And
it's very fan friendly. All of them really are fan friendly. Like you can go to every event with your family, and it's gonna be all right.
I bring my kid. You know what I mean? And I encourage everybody to bring their kids to these events. I know it sounds crazy, but I really encourage everybody to bring your kids. You know, I've had this conversation before, and it's literally because of Silvertooth that like my son, he loves martial arts, and he understands. Like he's a strong kid. He doesn't want to like hurt anybody else. He's had some like instances with other kids in the past and stuff like that. And he himself, he's like, I know I could whoop them, but I'm not going to because I don't want to be looked at like that. And he's 6. Like what other kid? You know what I mean? What are you thinking about, dog? And
he wants to fight on the big stage.
Yeah, because he even looked at me once. He goes, "When is it my turn?" I'm like, "Take it easy, buddy." You know what I mean? But I encourage, like I'm gonna say it again. I encourage everybody to bring their kids to these shows because you're watching high-level athletes do amazing things. You know what I mean? Just to get in the ring is terrifying, you know? So you're watching these people like conquer their fears and going out in front of like thousands of people, because it's not just the people who are watching it live, it's the people who are going to be watching the replays online, the clips that are people that are sharing on social media. It's huge now. There's so many more eyes on you as a fighter, as a commentator, as an announcer, you know, as anybody, even because now it's social media makes everybody a part of the show. It's not just, you know, like me or you who are driving the show.
Yeah.
Right? It's going to be like, yo, we're here too. We're a part of this scene. You see that shit? You know, like people like to be a part of that. And I'm just saying that come let your kids see like great athletes. And these are like young men and women chasing a dream. You know what I mean? What's better than that? You know?
And we need future fighters too.
We need future
Nick
fighters.
Leboeuf is gonna Nathan Morin in 15 years they're gonna be somewhere else.
Man. Yeah, man. You guys got to keep our jobs going. You know what I mean?
But yeah, just for road to l'Olympia, the way they did it this year, 2024 Silver Tooth Promotion.
Amazing. Yeah.
Number one.
Yeah.
Performance of the year. Meana is there twice for me in the top three. Meana versus Nick Leboeuf is my number 3 at FTC 6. The way he finished Nick Leboeuf, I know it ended with an injury, but Meana was a big part of why that injury happened.
Yeah, like he kind of like beat him down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like from what I've seen anyways, I didn't see the whole fight.
I think he broke Nick's nose. Nick would have kept fighting, but like I believe it was Montreal Kickboxing and WKFQ. They're like, maybe we should stop that here. But Meana finishing Nick Leboeuf like that, number 3 performance of the year. Matson Leon, number 2, finally climbing the hill of Omar Karaki, finishing him the same night. The same night as Meana finished Nick Leboeuf, Matson Leon finished Omar Karaki in the 4th or 5th round, very late in the fight. What a performance by Matson Leon.
Yes, yeah, and I agree. That one was, first of all, that whole fight, he was completely like on him. You know what I mean? And I think it was a liver shot or a broken rib that crumbled him.
It was just round. Like an accumulation of stuff.
Yeah, it was. You know what it was? It was an overpower. I'm going back to animes now, but like, you know when you just see some guy just getting like. Not that Omar got beat down, but it was just like he had his guard up. He was doing his job. He was defending himself, but Matson was like da 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 da. You know what I mean? He had that like a pellet gun with it, like, but just like he's just going. He had unlimited ammo, you know, ba 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 ba, and it was just like pellet, you know, and then it's just a small breakdown, you know, after time.
It was crazy. And the way he built his ear to Matson, like he fought like once every 3 weeks, maybe.
Yeah, I like that shit, man.
He came at Omar Karaki that night. First, he had 2 losses against Omar, so he wanted to at least have one. And the way that fight went,
the second fight between them was super close.
At l'Olympia,
the one the past year before, it was huge. It was a lot of people were like, "Oh, I thought this guy won." What thought? Because it was very close. Like, I think it was a split decision.
Might have been.
So,
but anyways. The way Matson fought that fight was my number 2 performance of the year. But number 1 performance of the year, my man Meana Yaya 10 from Apex when he fought Rebourg.
I don't know.
Yeah, but I know his last name is Rebourg.
Yeah.
At Silver Tooth Olympia, Meana like the way Meana started there, and it just all the fight went, and he's just like.
Bro, he ripped his leg apart. He just slowly broke him down, and then styled on him, like put on a clinic afterwards.
Feints and like
the
uppercuts.
This one killed me. He's like, look at this shit.
Bop.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
But it really is like first the fight started, and Rebourg is like he's hitting hard, and he catches Meana, and Meana just got back from his first loss ever, so we're all like, okay, Rebourg he's a gamer. Like he fought Neil Twizy to a decision last year, and he's a little bit bigger, and he punches hard. But then Meana, like it was nothing, brushed it off, and just kept going and going. Like you said, attacked the legs. Rebourg couldn't walk at the end, and like the head kick, the hooks, and like that was performance of the year.
Sweet, man. It was because it was. Surgical afterwards, you know what I mean? It wasn't just like I'm gonna just do, you know, like he was fucking, you know, you know, like he was working him, you know, he was really working him. Okay, fuck with your guard up, bam, you know, like he was breaking them down second by second, by moment. You know what I mean? He really went for it. And getting back to the legend of Mayana.
Yes.
Okay. With the with the eyes and everything. He was the referee at the Silver Tooth Smoker event afterwards with the kids.
Yeah.
Do you know how nice he was with these kids, man? Like, he's like, okay, take 5 minutes. Okay, don't do that. Keep your guard up. Okay, if not, they're going to hit you in the head. Okay, so just, like he would take pauses to talk to the kids, not just like give them like a warning on how to fight properly or whatever else, but like, okay, don't do this. He's going to hit you if like, and he's
teaching him.
Bro, it was so nice.
Yeah.
It was so nice. You know what I mean? To see? And I'm like, but it just goes back to the inside the ring, outside
way he
the
switches.
ring. He was so nice, to see
literally
him,
transformed
like the nicest guy, bro.
into a werewolf, like
man,
inside the ring. Like,
he's soulless in the ring. You know what I mean? He came with bad intentions.
Performance of the year, Mayana Yayatsen, bro. I'm looking forward to see Mayana in 2025. He really became one of my favorite fighters this year.
Oh my God, yeah, man. He really made a name for himself this year. I think, was it last year he won the FQ K1 championship, or was it early this year? I'm not sure. Exactly.
2023.
It was 2023.
Yeah, against Rabichan.
Against Karabine, exactly, yeah. Crazy, man.
Oh, he had a good year, but we're going to talk about Fighter of the Year. Very last award, Fighter of the Year. So we're going to talk again about Mayana, but his fight against Rebo was crazy.
Yeah.
Knockout of the Year. Number 3, I have Will Emile at FTC 5 in Montreal Nord. Just punch that dude into the otherworldly universe.
Yeah, he just
Will Emile from Team 360.
Okay.
On the South Shore. Then number 2, knockout of the year, Mayana Yayatsen against Rebourg. Just discuss it.
Yeah.
But the number 1 knockout of the year for me is Alek and Wright that night in Montreal, downtown. FTC 6, he head kicked Kevin Patnaud from Quebec City.
Yeah.
Patnaud, very, very good fighter, obviously.
Yeah, extremely good fighter.
Alek and Wright coming from, not sure he's from Ontario or like Manitoba or something like that, but he came to Montreal, bro, and head kicked the local. Beautiful head kick.
He just flew in for that head kick. That's what it
knocked
was.
him out. Like we saw like head kicks like Anis Dale as the highlight of the year with his head kick against Polanco at FTC. Yeah. But he did knock Polanco out. Alek and Wright ended Patnaud with that head kick. So that was my knockout.
It was a night. Okay, man, that's awesome. I had the Mayana knockout because that was like I said, I'm a simple man, you know what I mean? That's what I remember last,
Yeah,
so
but it was amazing though.
Yeah, of course.
Cause like I believe he hit him with like a head kick, but just the toes flush. So it hurts Rebo but doesn't knock him out. Then he probably hits him a little bit, but it's the way that Rebo just like he was done. It's not like a clear punch that ended him. He just fell to the rope and he's like, I'm done.
Yeah, like it reminded me of is it Mike Tyson versus Trevor Berbick? The first time he won his belt, when he I think it was the second time he knocked him out. Trevor stayed standing for 2 seconds and was like, oh. And then he went down. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it was that type of reaction too. Like he landed, he's like, oh shit, boom. And then he
no more, no mas.
Pah! That's what it looked like, So.
Fight of the year. Last
Fighter of the year?
Yeah. Before Fighter of the Year, we have Fight of the Year, guys.
Fight of the year.
Yeah, Fight of the Year.
Yeah, okay.
Number 3, Nick Leboeuf versus Jared Allen at Empire Fight League 1.
Crazy.
Beautiful fight, like underrated
yeah.
fight. Leboeuf against Jared Allen.
And Jared, it was a big
welcoming party.
But yeah, it's been a few years. He's off since I've been training at Angry Monkey. He has not been fighting. So when I started, it was 2021, early 2021, I think I started, or 2020. It was 2020. He didn't fight. 2024, 4 years later. You know what I mean? So
had a banger against Nick Leboeuf at Le Riz Empire Fight League 1. That was a very, very good fight. Insane
fight. So loud. I just remember the crowd being so loud. I couldn't even hear myself announce.
Yeah.
And then I know that Jared comes out to drop kick Murphy's shipping off the buff in there.
Yeah.
And you didn't hear nothing.
Yeah.
You just heard that.
Yeah.
And then you didn't hear shit.
Yeah.
It was just so loud. What an awesome fight. Completely back and forth.
And same for Nick Leboeuf. I mean, Barbu Kickboxing.
That's what I'm saying,
I don't think Nick even has like a walkout song. He's like, I don't really need one.
No, you know, he should do that 90s Spider-Man
But
song,
yeah,
you know what I mean?
The Riz was really like divided in two. Like you had Jared Allen on one side and Nick Leboeuf on
You
the other.
almost saw the colors.
And the fight was just non-stop action, obviously at the very best.
It was
like,
it was wild. You could have literally tell like a Slipknot crowd, you know, you tell them to separate and crash into each other. You know? Like blue, red, you know, it was awesome.
Number 3 fight of the year for me. Number 2, bro, Matson Leon against Nathan Morin, man.
Bro, I had the same one. Dog. That's so funny. I have the same one.
I'm like, how can... And obviously, I would have loved it to be my number 1, but I came to the decision that it cannot be. But number 2 for me, Matson Leon versus Nathan Morin.
Yeah, because it was...
The way we hyped that fight, you and I, we were so excited for that fight.
And the thing is, it was that's kickboxing. Like that is kickboxing. That is martial
100%.
arts. The way they were fighting was just it was
the
pure.
technique.
It was just pure. Like exactly technique, covering, bam, at the same time. And both of them, no one's like, let me just throw with hope. And no. They're both like, you could see them like,
oh yeah,
like calculating shit as they're going through it. You know what I mean? Super awesome. I loved it. That was one of my favorite fights as well because it was the perfect display of what the sport is. You know what I mean?
5 rounds of pure technique. And I'm going to go with it. Neil Tweezy versus Anis Deiles is my number 1.
Ooh, yes, sir.
So high level. And maybe I'm biased a little bit because I commented that fight. So, you know, when you're like right there before your eyes, which was not the case for Matson Leon versus Nathan Morin. Unfortunately, I was a little bit in the back, but still, crazy fight. But it's just the way we hyped it. You and I,
the
hyped, fight though. We was the more excited about, you know. But to me, Neil Tweezy versus Anis Deiles was number 1. 2 guys that could turn pro, like they could have been pro.
Yeah.
Anis went to fight in MMA, and he's probably gonna fight pro MMA
very soon.
Neil Tweezy should have been.
Yeah, he's doing. Anis is doing bits in France right now, right? I think that's where
Thailand.
He's in. He's
fought,
training in Thailand.
He fought in France.
I think he's training with Reda in Thailand.
Yeah, 100%.
He's with Reda. There, yeah.
Gonna talk a little bit about Anis Deiles for Fighter of the Year, obviously. But this fight against Neil Tweezy was, for me, as much as technique and nice Matson Leon versus Nathan Morin was, Deiles versus Tweezy was like all like the not the pressure, but like the stakes during the fight. Like 2 of the greatest, like Anis, is he now the greatest kickboxer we have in Quebec? And Neil was like, has been it for like the past 10 years. So it was like the 2 very best fighting each other. Was not like a brawl where some guys got hurt, but just like Morin versus Leon, pure technique and defense and like amazing fight.
You know, it would be interesting to see the WKFQ champion of this year fight the WKFQ champion of last year. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, like Anis is doing other things now, but it would still have been interesting.
Oh, of course.
You know what I mean?
They trained together at once, that Anis told me. So Anis versus Matson Leon would be a banger for sure.
Right? But I also had Omar versus Matson as a runner-up in the fight of the year as well. Right?
As you should.
It's just, like we said, it's the story behind that. You know, you could sell that. Right? It's amazing. So
fight is beautiful. Obviously, this one got lost on my list a little bit because I felt like Matson was like he had the advantage for most of the fight.
Yeah.
But maybe I'm wrong too. You know, this was a crazy fight. And I know Omar, at his moment in the fight, was able to hurt Matson once or twice.
Yeah, when he pieced him up, man.
But it's just the pressure from Matson and putting him in the corner and just...
Forward the whole time,
But obviously, that was a fight of the year contender. Crazy fight.
Yeah. It was up there for me. And it's more, like I said, about the story too. You know, behind the redemption. Like Matson's been chased. Matson went through a year of fighting a bunch of other people.
Just thinking about...
And coming back to that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Coming back to that like almost a year later.
Yeah.
Right? So...
And then... well, that's where we are now. Fighter of the Year.
Yeah.
Because Matson fought at l'Olympia too.
Yeah.
Fought at Empire Fight League. Fought every effing wear.
Bro,
this year.
he's the most active fighter this year.
Yeah.
He was the most active
and
fighter this
he
year.
is probably he's mine. He's probably your fighter of the
He
year.
is, and he is for another reason too. So I was watching. I had my brother-in-law over where he brought his kids, my son's cousins, and we were playing some kind of a Disney card game. It's like a battle card game. Anyways, I think it's called like Lorcana or something like that. And it's a cute little geeky game, and we're all playing. But I have UFC on in the background, and it was the Colby Covington card, right?
Yeah.
The one that just recently happened.
Yeah.
And we're talking, and my kid starts asking questions like, "Who's your favorite fighter?" And I'm like, "I don't know, bro. There's so many right now. It's just Alex Pereira. Let's just say that,
Yeah.
you know, just for the year he's had,
Yeah.
Alex Pereira, you know." And then he just looks up at me and he goes, "Mine's Madsen." I'm like, "What?" He goes, "Madsen." He's like, "But I want to see him fight on the TV, you know?" And I was like, "What?" You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he hit me like. You know, but that's another reason I have Madsen. You know,
Yeah.
I'm biased towards my
Because
son's
you have one
opinion.
more vote from
from
your
Adrian.
son.
Yeah.
Anis Deiles is my number 3 fighter of the year, just because he started the year so well.
Yeah.
Fought Isai Polanco, fought Charlie Penwick 3 days before he thought he was fighting Rabishan.
Yeah, exactly.
Accepted
I had him at a number 2. You know what I mean?
of course, and could be number 1. It's just
Yeah, exactly.
he started so well the first 6 months, but then he went off and did.
He's no longer
martial
part of the.
arts.
Yeah, he's no
Mixed
longer part
martial
of. Yeah,
arts,
he's no
should I
longer
say.
part of the K1 scene. You know
but
what I mean?
this guy he's number 1. Like beat Neil Tweezy.
You know.
3 wins in 3 fights this year on the scene, and still add like his
And
MMA.
bro, he's just been winning. You know what I mean? He's just been winning.
Yeah.
Since the first time I saw him, I think it was at a Silver
Silver
Tooth
Tooth,
event.
yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Spinning head kick KO.
yo, I remember when I met him, I was asking one of his teammates, I believe. I'm like, because Phil told me to tell that one of his teammates was the WAKO champion, the DIS champion, and MFL or whatever else,
Yeah.
right? And so I go up to him, and Anis was sitting right there. I'm like, yo, Phil wants me to say you're this champion, this champion, this champion. The guy's like, yeah. And then Anis is like, yo, me too? And I'm like, what? He's like, me too? And I'm like, okay, so tell me what you are. And then he, you know, like I basically wrote, I'm like, bro, I'm sorry, dog. You know what I mean? So I basically wrote that he was, I think, the WAKO Canadian champion at the time. And then also, I believe he was, I don't know if he was the MFL champion at the time for K1 or that came afterwards.
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But he had multiple titles.
yeah.
And he wanted me to announce
Been
it.
a champion, Anis Deiles. And like you said, if he would have fought Madsen Leon at the end of the year, maybe. But
Yeah.
it was Madsen's year. In between, Madsen number 1, Anis Deiles number 3, obviously number 2. Meana Yayatien.
Yeah, man. He's on a whole incline right now. The guy's just going this way. You know what I mean?
Knocked out a dude at FTC earlier this year, like vicious KO, like kick to the face or something like that.
Yeah.
Finished Nick Leboeuf at FTC, and then his performance against Rebo.
You see, and that's one thing too that is missing, you know, and that people love to see is a finisher. And what we have with Mayana is a finisher. Like if you're going into the ring, like with Mayana, you're not just you shouldn't be just worried about losing by points. You might get knocked the fuck out. You know what I mean? Like
No, you make a good point, bro. He's the best finisher we have now, because
the numbers don't lie, man.
Madsen is number 1, but Madsen, he goes to decision. Finished Omar Karaki, though. He did finish Omar Karaki.
Yeah, he did.
But usually Madsen will do a 5-rounders. Meana, you don't even think it's going to go to 3.
No, like he's swinging with bad intentions. You know what I mean?
Meana
Like
is a mean man.
He's mean man.
Looking forward to see him in 2025. But number 1, Madsen Leon, fight of the year. Fought Jérôme Thériault at earlier this year in Silver Tooth. Fought at FTC, beat Vince Nikiforov at FTC, if I'm not mistaken. Got blood on my face during that fight at FTC. Then he fought, obviously, Nathan Morin to win the belt at Empire Fight League. And then he fought again at l'Olympia and fought David Carpel for the WKFQ belt. And then he had a bunch of other fights during this year. I think he went 8-0 this year, Madsen Leon. So obviously fighter of the year.
Yeah,
Fight 1-4.
you know what I mean. The guy was fighting on average every 5 to 6 weeks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The activity. He won 4 belts this year.
Yeah.
He won 4 belts this year. That in itself is like, okay, you got him.
Yeah,
you know,
here's your title, bro. Fighter of the year.
This guy can wear one here, one here, one here. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
He's gonna start soon. So start on his back too. Actually, put one just on the top of his back. So you can make a jacket out of them right now.
Of course, man. Putting crew boxing on the map as well.
Big time.
Yeah, bro. That was your year, Madsen Leon. Félicitations, bro.
Yeah,
your Fight 1-4
brother.
Fighter of the year, and that was
Madsen Leon.
That was the 9 awards for Fight 1-4 in 2024, the best of kickboxing scene. Alek, it was a pleasure to start Fight 1-4 with you,
Yes,
broski.
sir,
and
brother.
stay tuned for 2025, guys.
Yeah, man. I can't wait for more. Max, thank you very much. Thank you for having me. It's awesome to see in such a short time that, we're finally in studio together.
Yes.
Really, really cool. And a really cool studio, too. Shout out to Studio SF.
Yeah.
Studio SF for having us. And Max, man, thank you for everything, brother.
Sir. Thanks, guys. Share the podcast. And as usual, we'll see you next time.